What if I told you this entire storefront was built in under 30 minutes using AI? Not a Shopify theme, not a page builder, but a complete custom storefront connected directly to Shopify. Products, collections, pricing, everything coming from a real Shopify store. And the craziest part? We started with absolutely nothing. No homepage, no components, no storefront. Just an empty project and a few prompts. Normally, projects like this take several days or even weeks to build. Some agencies charge thousands of dollars for custom Shopify stores because they give brands complete control over the customer experience. So the big question is, can AI help us build something that feels like a premium custom storefront in a fraction of the time? Let's find out. Today, we are building a custom JS storefront powered by Shopify. Shopify will handle products, inventory, and checkout while we build the entire customer experience ourselves. Let's start from scratch. Most online stores look very similar. They use the same layouts and the same sections. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a great way to get started. But as brands grow, many of them want something more unique. They want a shopping experience that feels custom-built for their customers, and that's exactly what we are building today. Instead of using a standard store theme, we are going to create our own custom storefront, similar to how big brands like Apple design their websites. This approach gives us complete control over the design, the user experience, and how customers interact with the brand. The goal is not just to sell products. The goal is to create a memorable shopping experience. Now, here's an interesting point. We are not building an entire e-commerce system from scratch. Shopify is still doing all the heavy lifting. It's still managing products, orders, payments, inventory, and customer accounts. We are simply creating a custom experience on top of it. Think of Shopify as the engine in the back. We are designing the vehicle around that engine, the part the customer actually sees and interacts with. This approach has become increasingly popular among modern brands because customers expect more than just a product catalog. They expect storytelling, better visuals, a faster experience, and stronger branding. And that's exactly what we are aiming to create. By the end of this video, we will have a custom storefront connected to Shopify that feels significantly more premium than a standard store setup. Now that we understand what we are building, let's start from scratch and create the foundation for our storefront. But before we start, let's talk about why we are using AI for this project. Traditionally, creating a custom storefront like this would involve planning the design, building the front end, connecting products, testing everything, and then making improvements. Depending on the complexity, that process can take days or even weeks. That's one of the reasons custom storefront projects are so expensive. Today, we are taking a different approach. Instead of manually creating every section ourselves, we are going to use AI as a development assistant. For this project, we are using Codex as our AI assistant. The goal is not to replace creativity or business strategy. The goal is to speed up execution. We will describe what we want, review the results, make improvements, and guide the AI throughout the process. Think of AI as a very fast assistant. It can help generate layouts, components, and ideas, but we still need to provide the direction. So let's start from scratch and see how far we can get. Right now, we have an empty workspace. Let's create the foundation for our custom storefront and begin building. The first thing we need is the foundation of our storefront. For this project, we are using jQuery. If you have never heard of JS before, don't worry. Think of it as a framework that helps developers build modern websites more efficiently. Instead of starting completely from scratch, it gives us a solid structure to build upon. Next.js is used by startups, agencies, and even large companies because it's fast, flexible, and works very well for modern web experiences. Since we are building a custom storefront, we want a solution that gives us complete control over the customer experience. That's exactly why we are using it today. While the project is installing, let's quickly talk about what we are actually creating. Remember, we are not replacing Shopify. Shopify will still handle products, inventory, orders, and so on. What we are building is the customer-facing experience, the part people see when they visit the store. This gives brands much more freedom when it comes to design, storytelling, and performance. The project is now ready. You can see that several files and folders were created automatically. If you're not a developer, don't worry about understanding every file. The important thing is that we have a working foundation that AI can build on top of. Our installation is completed successfully. This is the default starter page. Nothing exciting yet, but every great project starts somewhere. In the next step, we are going to tell AI exactly what kind of storefront we want to build and let it generate the first version for us. Now comes the most important part, the prompt. The quality of the result depends heavily on the quality of the instructions we give the AI. Notice that I am not telling the AI exactly how to code every detail. Instead, I am focusing on the outcome. I am describing the type of store, the experience I want customers to have, the sections I need, and even the brands I want to draw inspiration from. This gives the AI enough direction while still allowing it to be creative. Another useful technique is providing design references. In this case, I have mentioned brands like Apple, Nike, and a few others known for strong branding and modern user experiences. By referencing them, we are helping the AI understand the style we are aiming for. All right, the prompt is ready. Let's see what the AI creates and how close it gets to the storefront we are imagining. While the AI is building the first version, let's take a closer look at what's actually happening behind the scenes. The AI is now taking our instructions and turning them into an actual storefront. What's interesting is that it's not creating just a single page. It's creating multiple pieces that work together. Things like the hero section, featured collections, product showcase, testimonials, and promotional areas are often built as separate components. This makes the website easier to maintain and improve over time. You can see this in action. The AI is creating files with code inside them. One thing you will notice is that it is creating multiple files. That's how modern websites are usually built. Instead of placing everything into one single file, each section becomes its own component. Think of it like building a house. The kitchen, the bedroom, and the living room are all separate spaces, but together they form a complete home. The AI is also generating styles for the storefront. Things like spacing, typography, colors, patterns, and layout structures are all being planned, created automatically. This is one of the reasons AI can dramatically accelerate development. Instead of manually designing every section from scratch, you can focus on refining the experience. All right, the first version is ready. We have not seen the storefront yet. We only know that the AI has completed the initial draft. Now, here comes the exciting part. Let's launch the website and see what it actually created. This is always one of my favorite moments, turning an idea into something visible. Let's see how close the AI got to the vision we described. First impressions matter, so let's review what the AI created and identify what works well and what still needs improvement. All right, this is the first version of our storefront, and honestly, it is a pretty good starting point. We went from an empty project to a complete storefront with multiple sections in just a few minutes. We already have a hero section and product areas. You can see a collection section, testimonials, and a clear visual hierarchy. But the real question is, does it feel like a premium custom storefront yet? Let's start with the hero section. The headline is clear, the call to action is visible, and the layout is clean. If I land on this website as a customer, I would immediately understand what the brand is trying to communicate. That's a good sign, but at the moment, it still feels like a concept rather than a real storefront. Looking at the product section, we run into the biggest limitation of the current version. These are not real Shopify products. They are simply placeholder content generated by the AI. It looks like a store, but it is not actually connected to a commerce system. The overall structure is solid. The collection section makes sense, and the testimonials help build trust. The page flows nicely from one section to the next. But if we want this to become a real business, we need real data, real connections, real products, and real inventory. This is actually where custom storefronts get really interesting. The design can be completely custom, but the products can still come directly from Shopify. That gives us the best of both worlds. Complete design freedom on the front end and Shopify's powerful commerce system on the back end. Right now, Shopify already contains everything we need. Products, prices, inventory, everything required for e-commerce. So let's connect our custom storefront to Shopify and transform this from a design concept into a real e-commerce experience. Think of Shopify as the source of truth. It already contains all the important business information. Product names, prices, all variants, images, collections, and inventory levels. Instead of manually recreating all of that information, we are going to pull it directly into our storefront. The connection happens through something called an API. Don't let the word scare you. An API is simply a way for two systems to communicate. In this case, our storefront can ask Shopify for product information. Shopify responds with the data, and our storefront displays it to customers. Instead of building the integration manually, we are going to ask the AI to help us connect the storefront to Shopify. The goal is simple: real products, real collections, real commerce data. Behind the scenes, the AI is creating the connection layer between Shopify and our storefront. This is one of the biggest advantages of custom storefronts. We get complete design freedom while still benefiting from Shopify's powerful back-end infrastructure. To make this work, we simply install an app inside Shopify called Headless. It's very simple. Then we create a storefront API key, which allows our custom site to securely request data from Shopify. And there it is. Our storefront is now displaying real Shopify data. These are not placeholder products anymore. The information is coming directly from Shopify. You can see the products, the premium collection, everything pulled in live, which means a product update can happen in one place and automatically appear throughout the storefront. This is where the project starts to feel like a real e-commerce system. The storefront remains completely custom, but the commerce operation remains centralized inside Shopify. That's why so many modern brands choose this architecture. The storefront is now connected and functional, but there's still one important challenge. Creating a working storefront is not necessarily a premium storefront. Next, we are going to improve the shopping experience and make it feel like something a serious brand would actually use. Our storefront is now connected to Shopify. Products are loading dynamically. To prove it, I just added a new product inside Shopify, and you can see it is instantly visible in our custom JS storefront. Products are loading dynamically, collections are loading dynamically. The foundation is working, but we are aiming for a premium brand experience, and there are still a few important ingredients missing, because successful e-commerce stores do not just display products. They create confidence. When customers shop online, they cannot physically touch a product. They cannot walk into a store. They cannot speak directly to a salesperson. So the website needs to build trust on its own. That's why modern e-commerce brands invest heavily in product presentation and customer confidence. Instead of focusing on more features, they focus on conversion. In other words, how do we help visitors feel confident enough to make a purchase? That's often where the real business value comes from. So now we are improving the shopping journey. We are adding sections that help customers discover products, understand the brand's value, and build confidence before making a purchase decision. Let's see the website now that it's more complete. The difference is immediately noticeable. The storefront now feels complete. Instead of simply showing products, it's telling a story. It's guiding customers through the shopping experience, and that's exactly what premium brands aim to achieve. This is one of the biggest differences between a basic online store and a premium store. The goal is not just to display products. The goal is to create an experience that encourages customers to explore, engage, and ultimately purchase. The storefront is looking great on desktop. But here's something many people forget. Most customers will not visit the store from their laptop. They will visit from their smartphone. In many industries, mobile traffic represents the majority of visitors. So if the mobile experience is poor, the store will lose potential customers. Mobile optimization is not simply about shrinking the website. It's about adapting the experience. Navigation needs to remain simple. Text must remain readable. Buttons should remain easy to tap. And products should remain easy to browse. So let's ask the AI to review the storefront and improve the mobile experience while preserving the overall design quality. That's much better now. The storefront remains visually consistent, the layout feels cleaner, and the shopping experience works much more naturally on smaller screens. This is exactly what modern e-commerce brands aim for. A seamless experience regardless of the device. At this point, our storefront is connected to Shopify, displaying real products, optimized for mobile devices, and designed to create a premium shopping experience. Let's take a final look at everything we have built. We started with an empty project. No homepage, no products, no storefront experience, just an idea. Using AI, we generated the foundation, created a custom shopping experience, connected Shopify products and collections, built a conversion-focused journey, and optimized the store for mobile devices. What makes this approach interesting is that we are not replacing Shopify. Shopify continues to manage products, inventory, orders, and checkout. We are simply creating a much more customized experience for customers. The biggest takeaway from this project is not that AI can build stores. The real takeaway is that AI allows us to move from idea to execution much faster than before. Instead of spending days building the first version, we can focus more on design, customer experience, branding, and business goals. And that's where the real value is created. If you enjoyed this build, let me know what you would like to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next build.